I'm Miss Neil. I'm the Year 6 class teacher of Osprey class.
Hi, I'm Mr. Bonner. I'm the Year 5-6 Goshawk teacher.
Hi, and I'm Mr. Lawrence. I'm the Year 5 class teacher of Kestrel class.
It's just been absolutely wonderful It has been absolutely wonderful to welcome all of the children back in school. They have been fantastic. It's all been a little bit different. We've had lots of new children that have been joining us, and they've coped with all of it absolutely fantastically well. So we're really, really proud of them. A big thank you to you, first of all, and for supporting us with all of these different changes and things that are going on. We're doing our best to get things as running as smoothly as we possibly can. So yeah, they've been absolutely fantastic for the first week and a day. Thank you very much for all your help with that. Right, we have got a PowerPoint that we're going to put on the screen so you don't just see our faces all of the time, and you've got something to look at. So I'm going to hopefully now I'm going to share the screen. Share. There we go. So this is us, Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Bonnet and Miss Neil. How can I click on it? Sorry, everybody, I'm not very au fait with it, really. Okay, our week. I've got the button. Our week. So each week we have the same kind of structure. In Upper Key Stage 2, the same as Lower Key Stage 2, we have our daily maths lessons, which we stream for. Now, we have started streaming already based on our assessment of the children from last year. And also we did like a mini assessment in the first week. And we know we haven't got everyone in the right places at the moment. So we're very much still moving people around. And by the end of the week, there'll probably be quite a few changes again. So please don't worry if you think your child's in the wrong place. We're obviously here if you want to contact us, but we are very conscious that it's going to be very fluid and we're going to move things around. So that's our maths, and in our English we have every single day as well. We don't stream for English, it's class English lessons. And at the moment, we're very much following a catch-up curriculum, which you might have heard about. So with the current situation, we're covering a lot of the objectives from the previous year, just to make sure all children know what they're doing. And hopefully we're going to fill some gaps before moving on, and it will enable us to do that nice and quickly. In English, we're following the pathways to write and the pathways to read units of work, which is just making sure that everything is consistent across the school and that we are hitting all of those objectives through absolutely fabulous, inspiring books, which Mr. Lawrence, I think, is going to tell you a little bit more about later. In the afternoon, we've got a mixture of all the usual things that you would expect: history, geography, science. We have French on a Tuesday afternoon, computing, art, RE, My Happy Minds, which is all about the children's well-being, and we have some design technology as well. Our PE days are Tuesday and Thursday, which has been fantastic. I think all of the children, near enough, remembered to come in their PE kits for Tuesday and Thursday, which has been great. It just means we're not doing all of that extra changing and things like that. So we're trying to keep everybody safe that way when they're coming in their PE kits. And then all of us, oh, hang on, I've got people in the waiting room. How do I do that, please? Have I done it? I don't know. It's gone. Okay, I'll carry on. And then we've got non-contact time on a Tuesday afternoon. So that's when the three of us are out of class, and that's covered by Mrs. Tabor, who is our French teacher, Mr. Morris, who's our PE teacher, and also each of our class TAs will be doing half an hour as well.
Okay, so just some general information for you as well. So we've invested this year with some lockers upstairs along the corridor. So all the children, I apologise, the children in my class, they will be getting theirs tomorrow, but otherwise all the children have been allocated a locker and they'll have them from tomorrow if they haven't got them already. And that's for them to, I'm going to drop down to, well, pencil cases and book bags. So that's for them to now store their bags in. So if they can be of a relatively small size, so they can fit into their lockers. And with the fact that we're wearing our PE kits on Tuesday and Thursday, there's actually going to be less in their bags anyway. So it'll be lunch boxes pencil cases, and then trainers as well if they're bringing in trainers. And then they'll be hanging their coats in the room, but everything else will be in their lockers. Just going back to pencil cases, if they've got a pencil case that they can bring into school, that would be fantastic. However, we will always provide them with the necessary pieces of equipment that they need in school, which they can obviously keep in their pencil case. If they haven't got one, that's fine, and we'll provide them with what they need. It's fantastic as well that they can come in their PE kits on their PE days, so it saves them getting changed, and it saves them having to remember to bring it in, etc., and leave it in school. And for you guys to get smelly PE kits at the end of the week and to wash them at the end. Can you please ensure that they have a water bottle in school? Because that's really useful as well. And we've got a water fountain, what do we call it?
Chiller.
We've got a water chiller on the top floor, so they can have, they've got really good access to some nice fresh water every time they need to. With regards to mobile phones, we've had to change it slightly this year with the current guidelines. We used to collect them all at the start of the day and give them out at the end of the day. We can't do that anymore. So we ask, unless they really need them in school, it's probably best they keep them at home, because they're going to have to be left turned off in their locker, because we can't collect them anymore at this point in time. So obviously, whether or not they need to bring it in or not, if they do, they have to turn it off, leave it in their locker and turn it back on as they leave school. Current reading book, every child should have a book either that they're bringing in from home into school, or one that they're borrowing from school and taking it home. There's also a recommended reading list, which we've got on our website, on our class pages, and it's also going to be on the homework sheet that we're giving out tomorrow as well, the optional homework sheet. And if you've got any questions, please just ask us if you want any recommendations as well. And then the days we don't have PE, we will be taking them out for Daily Mile. Therefore, if they can bring in a change of footwear, because it will be occasions where it does start to get muddy up in the wooded area, and therefore keep our school as clean as possible. And our class information booklet will be available on the class web pages after this meeting.
Okay, so I'm going to cover a little bit of the curriculum now, what we'll be doing over the autumn term. To start off with it in English, we're looking at this book of Thee I Sing by Barack Obama, which is a book that he wrote, which is a bit of a love letter to his daughters, inspiring them to follow their dreams. And it's based on 13 American heroes and how they can be creative, how they can be brave, etc., etc. Sorry, thank you, Mr. Bonner. Okay, we will also be looking and using this book as well, Young, Gifted and Black, where we'll be looking at meeting figureheads, leaders and pioneers such as Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela and Rosa Parks. We'll also look at cultural trailblazers and sporting heroes such as Stevie Wonder, Oprah Winfrey and Serena Williams. There's lots more people in there as well. In maths, we'll be covering for the next couple of weeks place value and number and the 4 operations. Again, it's a bit of a catch-up program, so we will be looking at some of the objectives from last year when appropriate. For religious education, we'll be looking at Christian religious buildings and music. The topic in geography, we're looking at Africa, the countries of Africa, also looking at biomes in Africa, such as the savanna, rainforests, deserts, etc. And in history, I will be looking at I Have a Dream, linking it again in with Young, Gifted and Black book. In science, we'll be looking at physics, light and electricity, art and design, Africa, and Georgia O'Keeffe, who is actually in the book that Barack Obama wrote. And in PE, we're looking at invasion games and handball. And in computing, we'll be looking at internet safety.
Right, a question I think lots of people have been wondering about trips and residentials. We've kind of copied and pasted some of the advice from the government website. So currently the Department for Education is advising against domestic trips for children under 18 organised by educational settings. So really that means that we will not be able to do any residentials for the foreseeable future. We aim as much as possible to do some local trips. So in Upper Key Stage 2, we always do an autumnal walk around Tarpley and link in some of our learning and things to that. And we're just going to keep as up to date with all the guidance, obviously, as we possibly can. And whenever we're allowed to, when places will have us, we will take the children out on trips and residentials. But at the moment, it's basically saying that they're advising against any of those trips. So we'll just make the learning as fun as possible, using the resources on our doorstep and around us. But we'll keep you as updated as we can with all of those changes.
Right, in terms of homework, so a lot of the children have been asking about homework, and I have received a few emails about when homework is set and when it's due in. So homework across year 5 and 6, homework is set on a Friday and is to be handed in by the following Wednesday. If they finish it by Monday, they're welcome to hand it in on Monday, on the Tuesday, or it's got to be by the Wednesday. Spellings is set on a Monday and then is tested the following Monday, so they get the full week to learn their spellings. Homework diaries need to be brought in on a daily basis for any important dates. Okay, and reading diaries need to be in. So, and for a number of people have asked about how many reads. Ideally, we would like 3 reads a week to be recorded into their homework diaries. And also, again, it would be wonderful if they were reading daily, especially with an adult. And then also, if for any children who were struggling to complete their homework at home, on the Tuesday lunchtime for year 5 and 6, there is homework club in Miss Neal's classroom.
So we would like to encourage as much as possible the children to read as often as they can. And to be honest, as long as it's, as much as we've got the recommended books that we're suggesting, as long as it's something that they are interested as well, we just want them to be reading as much as possible, and with yourselves as well, with the parents, and it could be the parents reading to the children as well. That's fantastic, and asking a few questions about what they've read would be brilliant as well. We've got on there again about bringing the homework diaries in every day, because sometimes there'll be information that we can pass on. Homework diaries are quite handy as well if there's any communication from parents. If they want to send through us sort of informally, we can always have messages sent to us in that way. Spellings again, Monday to Monday. And then in terms of the homework itself, it's on a sort of 2 weekly rota. So on 1 week, they will be given a SPAG piece of homework and a math piece of homework. And then the following week, so 1 week with math, sorry, it might be a written piece of maths. The following week, maths will be electronic online with My Maths. And then the English element will be 1 week will be SPAG, and the following week will be reading comprehension. And like we say, due on a Wednesday, set on a Friday. And then in the inside front cover of their homework books, we'll be sending a optional menu of activities linked to all of those elements that we've talked about before in terms of topics, science, etc. Which, like I say, it's optional, and we get some fantastic things brought back in. Last year we had loads of fantastic solar systems that were, the kids actually spent so much time in it. They were fantastic. And like I say, the recommended reading list will be on there as well.
Okie dokie. So for the year 6 parents that are with us, just a little bit on transition to the high school. This is, again, you should have received an email, hopefully forwarded it on to you earlier in the week from Mr. Lowe, their head teacher at Tarpley High School. They're meant to have lots of transition events throughout the year, and they're meant to be holding an open evening in the next few weeks. However, obviously that can't happen, and they will be doing lots of these events virtually. We don't know yet about Conway and whether the Conway residential will take place. The high school are hoping it will do, but again, they are not sure. They can't predict what it's going to be like in the summer. So it's really all on hold, and the high school are doing their best to put on as many different activities and working with us to plan things so that we can, you know, do as much as we can without actually visiting them, which is obviously going to be quite tricky, but we'll do the very best we can. They have every wish to go ahead with the Conway residential, every hope that some of the open days and things will happen later in the year, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens nearer the time on that one. And again, we'll just send everything on that we get from the high school to you, and let you know if we hear anything at all about any of that. And then the other year 6 information is SATs. SATs are going ahead this year. There are no changes to SATs at all. The government have said that all these assessments will take place as usual. They haven't made as yet any changes to what they will be tested on. It will be the full curriculum as normal. When I say the full curriculum, as you can see on the screen, there will be 3 different areas that they are tested in. But at the moment, SATs week is meant to be on Monday the 10th of May, the Monday to the Thursday. That will consist of the spelling, punctuation and grammar test. There are 2 tests there, a straightforward spelling test and then a punctuation and grammar test, a comprehension reading paper, and then 2 maths reasoning papers along with an arithmetic paper as well. We are planning as usual for this all to go ahead, and work as normal will happen on this. We never really do anything to do with SATs as much as possible until February half term. That's when we kind of start our serious prep, getting the children exam ready and prepared. So we will have a SATs information evening all about that in the spring term. We'll just keep up to date with the guidelines and see what the government say and see if there are any changes. But I just have put a note at the bottom there, as I say every year, please don't book any appointments or holidays during that week, because it's just a bit of a pain, because the children do have to do the SATs anyway, so they might have to have it on hold for a week and do it when they get back. So as much as possible, if you can avoid booking anything on the week of Monday the 10th of May, that would be fantastic. And yet we'll give you more information in the spring term all about that. Oh, I did 2 in one go. Sorry, I'll go back. There we go.
Okay, now all of these will be on everybody's class page by tomorrow, but there's an example there of Osprey class charter. One of the most important things we do in the first week is, as a class, we discuss how we want to be treating one another, you know, how we're working within the classroom, and we all come to an agreement. So each classes may be a little bit different, but in these uncertain and strange times, there are a few different ones on there. We have to have a good think about this. So if tomorrow, if possible, if you could please go onto the class page and have a look at the class charter, that would be really, really good. Because as I say, in these strange times at the moment, they may be a little bit different as they were in previous years.
And then this is just finally just to let you know, obviously, how you can get in contact with us in school. So obviously it's just basically taking you through the different processes of where you might be able to find the information. And then obviously if you can't find it, then get in contact with the school, and if there's anything you need from ourselves as well. The main difference, I would say, obviously compared to last year, is there would be occasions where we could maybe catch you outside, or we'd have a quick meeting after school and arrange it. Obviously, again, with these times that we are currently facing, those sorts of things will have to be done obviously via telephone call or emails, rather than face-to-face meetings for up until obviously anything changes in that aspect. So like I say, there's just a process there that if there's anything you need, there's just a flow chart to go through in terms of who you can contact or what type of information you need.
Yeah, so just basically, please can you contact the office if there's anything, go through the office and they'll make sure that it comes to the right person. Because obviously if we're changing maths groups and things like that, the office will have all of that information, who to get it to, and forward it on to all of us if necessary. So if you can send it to the admin email address, then it will find its way to us. So I think it's then any questions, Mrs. Forrester? I don't know.
Okay, so at this moment in time, there are 0 questions in the chat. So
that must be you talk so much.
Has anyone, if you want to stop sharing your screen now, please, Mr. Thank you. And if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask, if you want to just pop them in the chat now and we'll see if we can answer them. Or if you feel that Miss Neil, Mr. Bonner and Mr. Lawrence have done such an amazing job telling you everything that needs to be covered, feel free to just give them a thumbs up or a thank you, or and there you go.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's one question come in that says, is the year 3 timetable tests for the year 4s scrapped? So that will be current year 5s, won't it? And there's no plans to put the current year 5s through the year 4 timetable test.
Not that we're aware of.
So
No.
the current year 4s will be doing it as normal. We knew
That one.
we knew what you meant. Okay, is there any other questions? I don't. There's no retrospective testing. Sorry, Miss Neil.
Mr. Bonner remembered one from earlier from a parent about buddies in year 6. So normally they have a reception buddy. At the minute, we can't assign them a buddy because they're not allowed to actually go and see them. So we've had that discussion with the reception staff and decided that's actually more confusing for the reception children in particular to be assigned a year 6 child who they can't meet. So hopefully when we're allowed to do that, maybe we might be able to extend bubbles later in the year. Then I've promised the children we'll make up for lost time and we'll do lots of different activities with the reception children. But until then, we've just said, sadly, I think it's more confusing than anything else to assign those different children to a year 6 buddy.
So there's a question asking, can they leave trainers in their lockers? Is there space for this?
Yes, that is one of the things we thought would be fantastic. So if they've got a spare pair of trainers at home that they can just leave in for the Daily Mile, that would be absolutely fantastic because then they've got access to them all the time. So it's just whether they've got 2 pairs of trainers to come in, leave. But yes, of course, if they can fit them in, then yes.
It might be worth as well, obviously, with the weather that we have in this country and the way it's going to start to go towards the sort of winter time, maybe a plastic bag or a bag as well, and obviously we'll be advising them to bring them home if and when necessary, so that there is so things are kept clean and smelling beautifully.
There was also a question about normal dinners coming back. Well, at the moment, the whole floor continues to grow and swell and expand. So we had the flood in the hall during the summer when we had that really bad rain and a lot of Tarpley was flooded. So one section of the hall floor just swole up as if a monstrous mole was coming to break through, and all that parquet was removed to be dried out, but now the rest of there's movement in the rest of the hall. So it's got to be dried out completely before we can do anything. So it won't come back until we have both of our halls back. So I'm very hopeful we're going to have Christmas lunch. So that was the conversation I had with our cook, Justina, that our aim is that we'll have a Christmas lunch together. So I will keep you updated though, as Cheshire West and Chester make the decisions on that one. Okay. So there you go, I've answered the news on the hall floor. Yeah, it's a sight. I'll take some photos, maybe do your little video and share it. Okay, Miss Neil, they want to know, are the lockers actual lockable lockers, and do they need a key? Or
no, they don't. So we made the decision when we ordered the lockers that locks would cause more trouble. So they are literally, they just turn. There's no lock, there's no key. They just literally turn shut. So whatever they bring in, there is obviously needs to be just left outside, and they've got to be happy to leave it just as they would in their bag. So that's the thing with mobile phones, is the one thing that we can't keep an eye on all day every day, is if you would like them to bring their mobile phone in, then we've just got to trust that it's zipped up and in their locker. We obviously will keep an eye out. We monitor them when they're around that area, especially when at the beginning and end of the day we always have a look out to see what's going on out there. But no, they are just turn the thingy for Barbara, handle is the word I'm looking for, turn the handle and they open and close.
Thank you, Miss Neil. So we've got a question about parents' evening. The current guidance is that parents' evenings are not face-to-face, obviously, because bringing so many people into the whole bubble that is school, and it would just see so many breaches. So parents' evening will either be offered as a telephone conversation or a Zoom conversation, and there'll be a bit more flexibility to it, really, so that, because obviously we'll probably span it over a few days. So, because I think it's doing it on video and telephone call is going to be very different, and to limit that to the time we'd limit other staff parents' evening to might be a bit challenging. So that's something we're going to be thinking about and looking at the government for guidance and also seeing what other schools do to see what works well. And we'll put something together that works well for us as a school community. Okay, I think that's of the questions on the chat. I did have an email question in about annual events, especially for year 6. Are the children going to miss out on their last nativity, their last barbecue, their last year 6 play? I think, unfortunately, the answer is yes. I'm sorry, but they may well. Until we get guidance that tells us we can go ahead with these events again. Obviously, with the new guidance coming in, we're down to groups of 6 from Monday. It's, you know, I know that's outside of school, but it wouldn't see us doing things such as the barbecue or the Christmas fair, things like that. It's just a very difficult time for everyone. But as soon as we can get back to doing these things, we will. So, and then there's some really nice comments. Someone's asked, could they have the slides and contact details?
Yeah, so that will all go on our class web pages. So we'll put the information booklet, the PowerPoint, and the homework menu and things like that. All of us will put that on, and we will send you a link and things to that as well, so that you can find that nice and easily.
So thank you, everyone. Parents, you can still join us for our collective worship on a Friday. This week, the teachers have recorded their Star of the Week messages for the first time. Maybe you'd like to have a little bit of a parent, what's it called, where you have a bet on a person? Sweepstake. Have a little bit of a parent sweepstake. Who's going to talk for the longest amount of time? I'll leave that one.
For once, it's not me.
You never know, Miss Neil, you never know. Right, well,
No.
thank you for coming, everyone. Is there anything else you want to say, team?
No, thank you very much, and please be in touch if there's anything at all. As I say, things are quite fluid at the moment, all things are changing, but if you've got any questions or queries about individual children, things like that, please send it through to the admin email address and we will do our best to answer those for you.
Have a lovely evening, everyone. Take care. Bye. The wave, go on.